Hey, what's up guys? So patch 7.2.5 came out a couple of days ago, and I wanted to make this video to address the Shadow Priest changes, for PvP of course. Now, I've been playing quite a bit of Shadow Priest lately, and let me start off by saying that I agree with pretty much everyone else out there, in that, Shadow Priests got nerfed. It's an overall nerf. I think it was justified, definitely, but I mean, I'll get to this, but I do believe that Shadow Priest is right now the worst caster in the game for PvP. Not to say it's trash, not to say it's garbage or unplayable, it's still decent, but someone has to be at the bottom, and right now, in my opinion, which might be biased because I play a Shadow Priest, but in my opinion, Shadow Priest is that, the caster at the bottom right now. Again, not to say it's unplayable, but in this video I'll talk about the changes a little bit, because I bet most of you guys know the changes already, but I'll let you guys, I'll tell you what I think is good and what I think is bad, because a lot of good things happened as well. So, overall what happened was we lost a lot of self-healing, which was definitely justified, because like in BGs we used to do top damage and sometimes, not sometimes, but always top healing among the DPS, and I was sometimes actually rivaling healers in healing as a Shadow Priest. I mean, granted, most of that healing was on me, but sometimes it was just on everyone with the big vampiric embrace, which got it. Like, the self-healing is gone, okay? Warlocks heal way more than Shadow Priests right now, so that one was gone. That means, survivability-wise, we got nerfed, which is bad because Shadow Priests were getting trained all the time, and we'll get to this as well. As compensation for our lack of self-healing now, we got 20% base physical damage reduction in shadow form. However, this is very important. This one's one of the big changes actually. When you go in void form, you lose this basically, because you lose shadow form and you replace it with void form, meaning that if you fight a warrior or a shaman, actually not a shaman, let's say a warrior or a feral or anything that does physical damage, but a warrior especially, if you hit void form, they essentially deal 20% more damage to you. And warriors do a lot of damage now, and that's another problem with Shadow Priests, since classes like warriors and enhancement shamans, which were considered pretty hard counters to Shadow Priests, got so buffed this season, this patch in 7.2.5. Everyone's playing a warrior now, and that indirectly is a Shadow Priest nerf, because warrior counters Shadow Priest, warriors got buffed, everyone plays a warrior. Like it kind of sucks. We lost our dot pressure, so dot damage is a bit lower, like 15% overall. Vampiric Touch lost 15% damage, and Shadow Word Pain, they said it lost 20% damage in PvP, but before this they buffed it by 10%, so it's overall, I think, a 12% nerf in PvP, so let's say somewhere around 15% less damage from our dots. However, Mind Blast, Mind Flay, and Void Torrent all got buffed. They do a lot more damage now in PvP, so that opens up a lot of interesting possibilities, and I'm gonna go actually into specs and what to spec against who and all that in probably another video sometime really soon, because I'm still trying to figure out what the best build is for different situations, and I actually really like that. I feel like it's very interesting changing your build that often, depending on what you fight in arena or duels or BGs or whatever it may be. So let's go over the pros first. Let's be happy and then get depressed. So the pros are obviously more single target damage. That was one of my problems with Shadow Priest last patch. Shadow was really strong last patch because of the AoE pressure. However, the single target was pretty much non-existent. You had some sort of burst with your Void Torrent, and that's it. And Shadow Fiend. That was all of your single target burst. And I guess, yeah, Void form with the Void Bolt was pretty decent damage as well, but it wasn't like, whoa, it wasn't like a mage kind of damage. Well, now with the big Mind Blast buff and the big Mind Flay buff, you can even ignore everything else and just do damage on one person, and it's gonna force cooldowns if you can free cast. Last patch you couldn't do that. Last patch it was all about VTing everything, and it's still the same. You still want to VT everything, but you can actually do some really nice single target pressure. So the next pro is better gameplay, in my opinion. because of stuff like Shadowy Insight becoming viable. Shadowy Insight is viable again because Mind Blast does a lot of damage, and it's worth it. Also, Mindbender becomes decent and actually on par with everything else, kind of on that tier. You know, Power Infusion, definitely the best in a lot of cases, like for instance, if you're dueling, if duels are your thing and you're dueling something that can't purge your buffs, Power Infusion is extremely OP. Misery, again, baseline very strong in Arena and Battlegrounds, probably the best like overall. And then Mindbender is extremely strong now. It generates 8 insanity each time it attacks, and it's very strong in duels against stuff that can purge and stuff that doesn't, like, let's say Shaman. Let's say you're fighting an Enhancement Shaman or an Elemental Shaman. Mindbender is broken there because it gets you to Void Form extremely fast, and you can get some super long Void Forms with Mindbender. Did I say Shadow Fiend? I don't know what I said, but I didn't say Mindbender. But I meant to say Mindbender. So it opens a lot of possibilities. Also, because of the Shadow Form buff and the Warriors buffs and everything else, you're kind of, you get punished. Like, this doesn't really happen now because I think not a lot of people know about this. No, I mean, people that don't play Shadow Priests. But as the season goes and progresses, people are gonna learn. Maybe even by watching videos like these. When a Shadow Priest goes into Void Form, as I said, they take 20% more physical damage. So a warrior that knows this can go on, I don't know, like his partner, then the priest says, yo, I'm safe, I can go into Void Form. He goes into Void Form, the warrior switches on the priest with like a battle cry and 2-shots him. And that happens. And again, people don't really do that yet because I don't think they know about the Shadow Form change. But they will. So, you know, stuff like Edge of Insanity becomes viable again, and there's some interesting mind games going on. And I like that. I think that's actually really cool. And the last thing that I noted here was a lot more talent choices and more builds based on what you're facing, and I just said that. So you have stuff like Edge of Insanity is, again, decent, depending on what you fight. And Sand Lane still strong, Shadowy Insight very much better. Void Ray is no longer garbage because Mind Flay used to do no damage, and right now it does, I believe, somewhere. Actually, it's close to this. It's close to this, so 40% of that. It's a lot of damage. Okay, if Mind Flay gets some crits in there, you can do 500k with a full Mind Flay. So a lot of new changes, a lot of new talents that were dead before can be used now, which is awesome. Now the cons, the sad part is mainly warriors. I would say that the biggest like con, you know, the bad thing that happened to Shadow Priest in patch 7.2.5 is warriors. Warriors got so buffed and they're such a big counters to Shadow Priests. It sucks, okay? So you're gonna get trained even more. Now also, you go in Void Form, you take more damage, therefore more people are more, you know, there's more of an incentive for people to train you. As if, you know, that wasn't enough already. So your healing is gone, and you take more damage in Void Form, and warriors are everywhere, and warriors shut down Shadow Priests so well. You can see why a lot of people have a problem with Shadow Priests right now, because basically all other casters can do what you can do, but a little better. Like you can take a Boomkin, for instance. You train a Boomkin, he does more damage. Boomkin has an easier time putting pressure out there while getting trained. They have a lot more physical damage reduction passively, like without having to sacrifice it when they go in their Void Form. You know, Warlocks have absolutely insane damage right now, and I believe they're gonna get nerfed probably soon, because Affliction does way too much damage with nothing but instants. And Shadow Priests are not in the best spot right now. However, like if you can get to the point where you can completely free cast as a Shadow Priest, you can do decent damage. You're still competitive. You can probably do close to a Warlock. You can get close to a Warlock. So if you play with an Affliction Warlock and the Warlock gets trained and you can free cast, you'll do kind of the same damage as the Warlock, which is kind of sad. So tomorrow or a few days, you know, in a few days I'll make a video, a guide on the specs, what I think is the best against different teams. Because again, like stuff like Shadowy Insight, Void Ray, and Sand Lane, Lingering Insanity, Reaper of Souls, and even Edge of Insanity, a lot of them are really good, and you have a lot of like synergy between them. I mean, the talents themselves didn't change, but the spells, the effect changed, so they're stronger or weaker. Also, other classes got buffed. Anyway, we'll get to that. But tell me what you guys think about Shadow in this patch. I know a lot of people say that Shadow is the worst caster. I agree again. I think it's the worst caster, but I don't think it's unplayable or terrible, which is bad actually. It's terrible news. The reason for that is because like if Shadow was completely garbage, like unplayable, we could expect some sort of buffs. But since we're, you know, just the worst, maybe it depends on the situation again. But in the current meta, Shadow Priests are kind of the worst caster. But there has to be a worst caster. There has to be someone. So that's us. Oh well, feels bad, man. I don't really expect any buffs for Shadow Priests. I think they're decent when they can free cast, and a little bad when they're getting trained. But at least we let our partners free cast because we're such a yummy target for everyone. And you can even see in this video in the background, and I'm gonna leave you with the full video with Skype and everything right in a few seconds. Like in this video, I think I played against this turbo almost perfectly. Okay, I was pre-dispelling the blinds, I was pre-dispelling Hodges, like pre-casting MD before it happens. I was pre-mind controlling the Doom Winds from the Shaman a few times. I was peeling like crazy. I was doing mediocre, decent damage because I was focused on peeling so much. And we were obviously looking like we were winning, but then the turbo decides to swap on me, and you know, they go on me. You'll see what happens. I kind of mess up in the end. I could have done something better. I know. I'm a human. I make mistakes. But it's just, after that game, I actually stopped playing Shadow Priest for the rest of the day because it was too depressing. Like, I think I played really well that game and we still lost. But tell me what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya!
Don't come next to me.
Oh my god, I felt my shield. So hard. It's at the priest. You see my shield? At the priest's position?
Yes. I'm healing you. I'm gonna micro to Shaman.
TP.
Micro to Shaman.
Fuck this game.
Okay. We're okay. I swear.
Okay, I'm doing damage now.
Nice kite, mate. Nice kite. Hex, 8 seconds. I have trinkets already, not using.
Slowing. Wait for
Hots for
damage.
5 seconds running. The hot's really big. Not getting any shit. Okay, come back. My range is good. Casting.
Keep them in the open if you can. If you can.
I'm stunned. I can't
Locked?
move. Like,
Yeah, I see. I will use cooldowns again. My hot's running. You should be cool.
I only have stun.
Okay, you can race.
Try to hold it.
I'm actually getting nice CBA this game. CBA.
Nice. Look. We're winning.
He charged me.
You just need to skill kite like that. Casting. But tell me not CBA because I just panicked because my cast broke. Casting.
Stormbolt me.
Front hex.
He wants me.
Guys, let's kite them like retards.
He's gonna go for blind on you now. Don't stay next to me.
What's
Or
right
next,
for
or
you?
next to him.
Hodged, be careful.
Yeah, he's gonna blind
Nice,
me.
really cool. I have shield ready. Oh, okay, really
I need
good,
to be
really
ready
good.
to swap here. I'll micro the warrior.
I got heals. They're too stupid to kick me. All my hots running into game and my shield. They overlap everything. My nice. I have still trinket link.
Can you see a Spala? You think?
This is maybe
Yeah,
link
I
here,
can't,
okay?
like, yeah, Link.
Trinket link. I'm casting. Nice. But you see me? Shock. Okay.
I see.
Shock paladin.
I'm here. This side. I'm gonna piece it.
Yep. I see. I got the paladin. The R stun. Nice gate. Nice kite. Shadow in little danger. I'm casting onto shadow. Try to hold some shit.
Can you interfere, please?
Yeah. Please stand
I'm popping
there.
it.
Please stand it. Congrats.
Hodged.
Use.
Nice. Let's go.
I did.
He's using shit casting. I'm feared. You can die here. Stop the access. Stop. I got it. I will shield you. Shadow behind you. Nice. All my hots running in game.
Actually, I want to get the void form. Well, thank you.
Try to mini hex.
Pala has no bubble, by the way.
Do you want to go for him? I'm hexed, fuck this.
Lock pillar.
You went out of, okay?
Ready?
You can die here.
I can silence Pala.
Stun everyone.
I'm casting, nice stun.
Stunning out of your stun.
Casting,
That's the last sack, yes.
casting.
And you.
This is swap.
I got you.
Okay.
Do you have any CDs? What do you have?
Try harding, casting.
I don't want to go for it because I die if I do.
I got the kick. I'm casting.
Careful.
Press up. That's their burst, man. I'm
Yeah,
scared.
it's going to.
I'm gonna get. Can you stun him? Do you have any stun? Any of you?
Maybe now because I'm
Good.
watched and hack. Nice. This is probably still. Don't lose me. Swap him.
Nice burst.
Also here.
I can't! I can't!
Oh my god. Why did
Nah,
you
I
lost?
can't outplay this shit.
Hey, you shouldn't. You should. If you're in this position.
Oh man! He stormbolt me. I can't swap. And I had 2 seconds or 5
Yeah,
seconds for
but still, this position, you couldn't never swap. We just need to stabilize one more time and we would win because my cooldowns just came back.
Yeah, this game is
Shield is up.
garbage. Like I had so much damage, but I can't afford going void form because I die. So I was just sitting, jumping around.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play this shit. I'm gonna log my warrior, CBA warlock.